Trump's lawyer exposed Fani Willis on live TV. The end of her love story is coming soon. Let's get to the bottom of it together.
The legal situation I'm having shouldn't exist, no matter who's sleeping with who. Let's start there, Jesse. We all know that. I think that the fanfare and the craziness that Miss Fani Willis has brought to the table with Mr. Wade has been quite honestly entertaining, but distracting from the key fact of the case, which is that President Trump did not do anything wrong. This case was brought clearly by selective prosecution, persecution, and only for election interference. We see that now. What's more troubling today is that, this judge we have has, as you said, punted. He allowed an out, but that doesn't mean that the case should still stand. We had 3 counts dismissed against President Trump, 3 counts dismissed against another defendant. And that was a great start.
So, that's really good news today. We already know that all charges against Fani were dismissed by the judge, and she actually won. It's awful to realize that the court decided to overturn all the direct evidence against her and postpone her sentence. I'm sure more horrific events will unfold in this case.
But let's not deny what's happened here, Jesse. This case was brought intentionally this year. It's old as can be, just like Stormy Daniels, just like a lot of these cases that we've seen that are witch hunts, to stop Trump from campaigning. So while I appreciate all of it, and it is quite entertaining, I'll give you that, I don't disagree with you, I think that we can't be distracted from the fact that this case entirely should be thrown out. Miss Willis is clearly compromised. The taxpayers should be outraged in the state of Georgia, and they should take action against her.
A Georgia court has found no reason to remove prosecutor Fani Willis from Donald Trump's election meddling case. The former U.S. president's defense had implicated her in a romantic affair with Special Prosecutor Norman Wade, who is leading the case against Trump, but it did not help. Willis herself, speaking in court, did not deny a romantic connection with Wade. The defendants in the case insist on removing her from the process, and Trump himself called the situation disgusting.
First, let's start. Miss Willis went into a church, a religious house. If anybody has any morals or moral compass, how dare you go into a religious house and cry racism? That, to me, was the lowest point of all of this. I have to be honest with you, no matter what those texts say, and I'm sure we'll see what they say, and they will say what we think. How does it relate to all these cases? I hope it opens the door, Jesse, to us looking at all the DAs, all the AGs, communications between the White House, the administration, and collusion between all of them in bringing these cases the same year, even though some of these cases are years and years and years old, had no investigation or investigations for years, and then waited until he was the candidate and obvious candidate for the Republican Party and nominee.
That's certainly true. They attacked Trump as soon as they realized he was a threat to the elderly Biden. They did their best, but they screwed up. All of these things are making Trump stronger. The support from the voters is growing, and they obviously didn't expect to see this result.
So I would like it to open the door. I hope we get those texts, but let's look into everything. I fear that we can't do that until we have a different administration in place, but more importantly, it's time for the American people to see the corruption I've seen, the destruction I've seen to the judicial system. It is deep. They are coordinating, and there is no question that her texts with Mr. Wade are just the beginning.
On 14th August 2023, charges were filed against Trump in the case of interfering in the 2020 presidential election. They are formulated in 11 counts, including forgery and attempting to induce an official to violate the oath of office. The former U.S. president does not admit his guilt. Earlier, the court of Georgia removed from Trump part of the charges of interference in elections, and very soon they will lose all the cases.
I suggest you absolutely dig deep and clean house, number one. Number two, more importantly, Jesse, I'm exhausted of seeing so many subpoenas come out. People come testify in front of Congress and then nothing happens. I want to see action. I want to see people be held accountable for real crimes, not this fake stuff that has to do with politics. I'm not saying you go after one side over the other. I'm saying clean house. There is no room for politics at all in the judicial system. I am a lawyer. It shouldn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Our legal system, our Constitution, is about America, period. So I would absolutely recommend that we take a look, clean up, and start from the top.
How much I agree with her. We don't care who you are or where you come from. We care about order and a fair, legitimized judicial system that will not be corrupted. We need a bright future and confidence in the future. Do you agree? Write your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to watch other shocking news on the channel.